You know, do a little fun project, build something around the house, do some little
Where am I gonna get my paint from if I can't go to Home Depot?
Home Depot's still open.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, Home Depot's still open.
Good.
Just, you know what I mean? Just when you go in, you gotta make sure, you know what I mean? You gotta make sure you're fully locked and loaded, you know what I mean? So you gotta go to Home Depot like this, you know what I mean? That's how I go to Home Depot. I'm locked and loaded, baby.
Said I finally understand what it takes to be a man, cause I'm out here every day. Said I finally understand life was good on
You know, I'm definitely trying to utilize this time and doing a bunch of little things that I haven't done in a while, doing some projects, some things that I've been putting off for a while. But I'm also getting caught up on a little bit of TV too.
Okay, what you got? What you got?
So you know what I'm watching. You know, I don't watch TV a ton, you know, but I do got a couple shows that I watch. But obviously, with a lot of downtime, man, I'm definitely watching more. I'm taking a little more risks on the tube, man, and finding some new things. Are you gonna tell us what you watching or not? I'm watching a couple of things, man. I'm watching. I watched 60 Days In, which is a good show. I'm excited about Ozark as Gary come in, but here's what I'm watching right now. I don't know, like, you know, I didn't want to quite give it, man. Tiger King. All right, I'm Tiger King. There it is. I fell victim to the number one show. Like, usually I try to stay away, you know, from what everybody else is doing, like some other folks I know.
Yeah.
But I had to fall victim to Tiger King. I'm 3 episodes in.
I'm done.
No, all right, don't spoil it, man.
I'm all the way through all 7.
But it's interesting. It's crazy. It's definitely an interesting show, man. And I guess, right, like, who wouldn't want to see a bunch of tigers and lions and bears? But it's interesting the way they put it. If you don't know what this show is about, if you haven't seen it yet, number one, if you got some time on your hands, I'd encourage you to check it out. But essentially what it is they're documenting some folks with exotic animals. They almost kind of have these mini zoos, if you will, kind of preserves, and a ton of land, a ton of animals. And, you know, they are allowing people to come, and they're operating almost like a zoo. People can come and take pictures and pet. Now, difference in the zoo, they can actually get interactive with the animals and pet them and roll around and wrestle. And so that's
$350 a ticket to get in.
Yeah, that's crazy. They
$600 for like a Supreme, like a VIP tour.
Would you pay for it?
Nah, I'm not trying to touch one of them animals. I barely like petting dogs, man. I'm allergic.
You want arm wrestle? You want arm wrestle a tiger?
Nah, man. It'd be like the lady in the video, man. Get that arm off. No, thank you.
That was crazy.
No,
that was crazy.
I'm good.
It's an interesting show, though, man. A lot of characters.
What I'm thinking about? While I'm thinking about it, make sure you guys subscribe. Hit the subscribe button right below on our YouTube channel, and make sure you tune in every Thursday. Zoom training for our personal development series, Thursdays at 6:30. All right, now what was you saying? Yeah,
definitely do that, man. We talking about some stuff here. We're gonna get into a lot of it on those calls, so make sure you tap in. But I was saying there's a lot of interesting characters. It's just a lot going on in that Tiger King, man.
Man, listen. You got Joe Exotic. All right, first of all, he got one of the dopest names ever. All right, you just listen, you know you special when you're not supposed to give yourself your own nickname, but dude gave himself his own nickname, Joe Exotic. All right, so that's number one, which is dope. And you got Carol Baskins,
what's your nickname?
I don't have one. My name too short.
Huh?
My name too short.
You got no nickname?
None.
Man, I got so many nicknames.
My mom calls me Baby Roy. That's what she called me, man.
Yao!
Yeah, Yao Ming? Yeah, Yao Ming.
Chef Boyardee?
I've never called you.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, all right, Joe Exotic.
So you got Joe Exotic, you got Carol Baskins, and you only on episode 3, so you about to get introduced to Jeff Lowe. Okay. So Jeff Lowe is like another one of, like, he actually is like a good guy and a bad guy. It's like real quick. But it's just crazy to see how everybody's going nuts over these animals in cages, man. So Carol got tigers in cages, Joe Exotic got tigers in cages, and then Jeff Lowe got like tigers in his house, and he just needs somewhere to house them. So like we got to figure he comes into play. But one of the things that we was talking about off camera was just kind of this idea of things being locked away in cages, like these exotic animals that they have an affinity for, have a relationship with, but they keep them locked away. You mentioned it earlier, they be in private zoos and private areas, and so they kind of keep them locked away, but they love them a lot. And we started to talk about, which we're obviously doing right now, is just things that people keep locked away that if they didn't, and if they did give it an opportunity to see the light of day, or if they let it or get released or let loose. I mean, you're not letting loose a tiger, but for example, people keep good ideas locked away, right? Maybe somebody when they were younger, somebody around them said, no, that's not for you. You can't accomplish it. I know growing up, you know, when you used to want to be in the NBA, before the NFL dream, you wanted to be in the NBA, you know, and it's in your book, Waiting to Fail. It talks about, you know, your neighbor's dad came out and said, you're not going to be nothing, right? Where you have a dream that you want to accomplish something, and then it gets locked away because you don't believe it, because the people around you didn't believe it. Sometimes it's forgiveness. A lot of times people lock away the ability to forgive another person. And it actually hurts them more than it hurts the person that they're unwilling to forgive. Goals and dreams, we talked about that, but even more so, pain, hurt, and anger. I think, you know, pain and hurt are kind of synonymous, but hurt and anger, where things are going on, you keep it caged away, locked away, and eventually it does get released, but it gets released the wrong way, right? When you least expect it, and you end up releasing that anger or that pain or that hurt against people that you love, when those things were supposed to be taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that that I kind of noticed, as you mentioned, being locked away, is in reverting back to Tiger King in the show, most of them have some sort of issues growing up, or, you know, they felt kind of alone, or the pets were their friends. And so that's, and at the end of the day, you know, when you know, kind of think about it, they're trying to control the world, their own world, you know what I mean? So they have, you know, their life, and then they're controlling these animals that, again, they're connected to, that they're caged up. But that's how my man is able to give himself his own name. And there's another guy in there that kind of termed himself, you know, the God or whatever it is, right? They're trying to create their own world.
Bhagavan Doc Antle.
Oh, there you go, man. You
come on, man.
Come on, man. Come on. But you know what's also interesting is that what I learned in just a couple episodes is that there are a ton of other folks that are also living in this realm, right? That have these exotic animals, and of course, we may not know about them. It's just these few folks allow the cameras to come in, and allow people to come in and pay a fee to come in and pet their animals and wrestle with their animals and have access to it. And so when you were just talking, it kind of made me also think, like, there are times where we lock stuff away, just lock it away. But then there are also times where we give people just enough preview, right? We give them just enough access, but we don't let them fully come in, right? Or we give them access and they go home, right? Yeah. So on the show, people come and pet your animals, they play with them, they pay their fee, and then they go home. So sometimes we give access to stuff, and people still, they're going home. They take what they can get out of it, right, and then they go home. So I think it's an interesting combination. Is we have to, number one, figure out what needs to stay locked in, but what needs to be released. Yeah. And then also, what do we give people access to, and give them the right access? Because if we're not careful, they'll abuse that access.
That's excellent, man. You want to make an assessment or assess who has access is what you want to do. We get an opportunity a lot to go to, Ohio State football games. We're alumni. And you start to look around.
You do. I'm not welcome.
Come on, man. So what happens is, you look around. So sometimes they'll give us, you have regular season tickets. So you got everybody watching the game. So everybody who paid their $80 or $100 or whatever it is to sit in the stands. And then depending on the game, relationship with the program, that type of thing, you might get credentials, which gives you access to different areas around the field. So some credentials will allow you to go on the opposite team sideline or the home team sideline. Some credentials allow you to go into the locker rooms. Some credentials allow you to go up into the different recruiting areas. So it's all based on what type of credentials you have. If you have a situation where you have a good idea, and you take Ohio State, for example, if they want to we just got a the number one running back in the country, by the way. We just got a new recruit for the next class. But when they're recruiting good people, they give them access to everything. I mean, these recruits can go any and everywhere they want at all times. Their credentials is a little bit different than our credentials. They get to go in the locker rooms, they get to be around the team, the chapels, they get to do everything and have that whole experience because Ohio State allowed and gave them the access that you're talking about. But then you get other people that only get pregame access, right? You don't get a chance to be down here during the game, but you got to go back and sit in your seat. And I think the biggest thing is figuring out who deserves full access and who doesn't. To your point, no matter who gets the access, they still got to go home because there's only 22 of us that get to compete on the field. But it's our job to make sure who has access and who doesn't have access.
Mm-hmm. And we get a chance to get that out. We get a chance to give people access.
So, yeah, that's good right there, man.
You know, make sure, especially during these times, right? Like, there's a lot of things and people and temptations and distractions that wants access, right? Wants access to our minds, want access to our bodies. We're talking about Netflix. I mean, listen, Netflix isn't hurting right now in business. I can guarantee you that, right? Their business has skyrocketed. And a lot of stuff is good and it's entertaining, but we got to be careful and be mindful because, you know, we can give access to those things that could also be a detriment.
So the things that we give access to, we still have control over, right? So I think one of the things that was fun for us was trying to figure out how to start looping in things that give us the things that has access to our mind. So let's get out Netflix, let's get off social media. So we on the phone, we're like, all right, if we don't watch, well, I already went through Tiger King quickly, so I got done with that. But if I'm not watching TV because there's nothing else to watch now, since I went through Ozark and Tiger King, what else can you do, or what else are you giving access to? So we kind of came up with like a top 5 things that you can do during quarantine. I think outside of Netflix. Okay. All right, give me some on your list.
So again, one of the things that I've been doing is just do some projects around the house. Make it fun, engaging. This could be a whole family activity. You guys want to repaint a room, you know, do a little fun project, build something around the house, do some little
Where am I gonna get my paint from if I can't go to Home Depot?
Home Depot is still open.
Is it?
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, Home Depot is still open.
Good.
Just, you know what I mean? Just when you go in, you got to make sure, you know what I mean? You got to make sure you're fully locked and loaded, you know what I mean? So you got to go to Home Depot like this, you know what I mean? That's how I go to Home Depot. I'm locked and loaded, baby.
This is ridiculous, man.
Don't worry about nothing.
Bro, where is that gas?
That's my social distancing tool.
Man, that thing look like Ghostbusters. Man, what is, bruh?
All right, projects around the house.
That's from 1917.
Man,
you seen that one? You seen 1917?
The movie?
Oh, it's solid.
I don't know.
All right, go ahead.
So doing some projects around the house. I've been doing a ton of them. My wife has a whole list of, like, every day she just continues to add. Like, and I'm like, yo, can I get one thing done? Huh? Can I get one? And then we can move to the next one, right? Like 100, list of 100. Working out.
Push-ups, sit-ups, burpees, lunges, whatever you can do.
It's curls with canned goods. That's good. Running outside. It's the weather's starting to break a little bit. I got a couple miles in. Yeah. Hold on. Here's the thing.
Come on, man.
Roy always want to talk about working out, right? You see his arms. He don't want to run. See, I run. I'm trying to get back running. I got a couple miles in. He always wants to challenge me and do these workouts.
I could run. It just takes a while to build up. See, my knees, you know, sometimes it takes a while.
We gotta get a run group. We're gonna get a run group.
Nah, we social distance, like 6 feet apart.
That's fine.
People not doing that, by the way. I see a lot of people working out, and they not staying six feet apart.
Gotta be arm's length.
I can't see that. Yeah. All right, we good. What else?
All right, working out. You know what? Something that we got away from, technology gets us away from, that I think will be really cool. And I'm probably gonna say 2 right now, is doing something unexpected, right, to someone. You know, just being a blessing, man. Pastor that I was listening to yesterday from one church, Pastor Ford, he said something that struck me. He said, I can't be everything to everybody, but I can be something to somebody. And so you just never know, man, during this time when you can be a spark, when you can be a light for somebody. And so my point is, one of the things that I think we could do that we don't do anymore is write a letter. We're so good with texting and emailing. Man, get out a piece of paper and a pen and write a letter to a loved one. Write a letter to a friend. Maybe it's a forgiveness letter. Maybe it's something that we've had locked up in this cage and bottled up for so long. And man, we want to get it off. Write a letter.
You could just, not even, to a family member or loved one, just somebody in the house. All right, you write a little letter tuck it up under your daughter's bed or something, under your son's bed, and they wake up and
she can't quite read yet, but I get you.
All right, I mean, you can read it to her, like, you know. Come on, man. She can do her D's though from last week.
Yeah, just a letter full of D's.
See, you got selfish. I wasn't even necessarily talking about your daughter. I was just talking about people with daughters. See what I'm saying, man? Don't be selfish. Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
All right, so that's how about a disciplined diet?
A disciplined.
That's what I'm saying. See, last week you talked about the snacks. All right, but can you go this week without really heavy on the snacks? Yeah. That's gonna be hard. You know what? That's tough.
I tell you what. Right now, I can't quite cut out.
All right, what?
Sweet chili Doritos. Man, have you had them?
I have not.
Like, man, I cannot cut out the sweet chili Doritos right now, man.
You know what I'm on right now? I think they call like Zaps potato chips. These voodoo chips. They like kettle chips.
I had Zaps.
Get it from J Gumbo's. You can't really find them nowhere else.
Zaps.
They real good.
All right,
man,
so diet.
Told me, all right.
So we got diet. We need one more. Give me one more. Ton of things that we can do.
Zoom training on Thursday.
Zoom training.
6:30.
Tap in for sure.
Definitely got to do that.
Definitely tap in this Thursday. We on there. But you know what, man? You know me. I'm a big guy from entrepreneurship, man, and in business, and you know I love creating, and so I think that this is an opportunity for us to kind of dig deep, man, and pull out, right, some of those things we've been locked away for a long time, these ideas, some of these businesses, man. You know, we've had these business ideas for 10 years, or if you're a young person, man, young people are thriving right now. Like, start a business.
YouTube channel.
You listen, can I put my leg down for a second?
What you got? All right, serious situation.
So usually, like, you get serious, you put your leg up. Now I'm getting serious, I'm putting my leg down. This is serious right here. Listen.
Show your watch too. Just
don't worry about that one. Right. Listen. If you do not have a business or a business idea or a business entity, you missing the boat, right? I get it. Maybe you're not an entrepreneur and you work for a company, like that's fine. But I feel like if you do not have a business entity, you are missing the boat. And more importantly, if you're not teaching your kids entrepreneurship, if you're not teaching your kids about business, listen, I got a 3-year-old and a 2-month-old, and they both got business entities, right? That's good, man. They both got LLCs.
It's different.
If you're not teaching that, man,
it's uncommon.
You're missing the boat.
Yeah,
you're missing the boat. And we talked a little bit about last week. Why are we in this position? Why weren't we ready, right? And we want to always be ready, right? Always ready. To me, I think that's one of the things that we're missing in this country and globally is, you know, we're not tapped in there. You know what I mean? And so we're teaching our kids this education system. And so when things happen, now it's so much outside of our control. You know, I can't control where funds is coming from. I'm waiting on this. Listen, if you're not tapped in and have a business entity or not teaching your kids about business, you're missing out.
I think that's one of the things I actually took from Tiger King is looking at how there's similar setups, but it's different, but they own their own stuff. All right, so they got different, they're not waiting on, but they control kind of their own little system. And all of them are entrepreneurs and business people. Obviously some more successful than the others, but just having
Joe is selling underwear, bro.
Man, wait a minute, barbecue sauce.
He's selling everything.
Barbecue sauce, underwear with the tiger print. I mean, he got his magazines there. He's selling the magazines that he probably got for free.
He was doing music videos.
Oh, Joe can get it.
And
he can sing, man.
A girl said that the YouTube hits is like, what is it, a couple hundred million views?
It's ridiculous.
People just want to view tigers, man. But seriously, back to what we're talking about. Start a business. This is the perfect time to start a business, right? Get with your kids, get with your family. What are some things?
What's a couple ideas, business ideas that you can do like under the quarantine?
Well, number one, we talked about YouTube, and anybody can do that, but especially our young people, man, they know how to work that. Man, get a YouTube channel or at least some social media. Use it for good, not just to do random stuff, but use it to do good and use it from a business perspective, man. People are killing on social media.
From a YouTube standpoint, social media standpoint, all of us have unique gifts, right? So I think God gives us probably one or two things that we can do that nobody else can do, and we do well and we do it easy. We don't even got to think about it. Like most people don't know, like I can draw. Like I love graphic design, art. Like I really like that type of stuff. Some people can sing, dance, whatever it may be.
That's why your beard's so perfect. You drew your beard on. You done drew your beard on.
Come on, man. You know, you got a little, what is it? What's that called?
Got a number
Beijing?
2 little shadow.
Beijing. So you have to, like, now, since you have time, whatever you can do and do it well that you don't have to think about, that's what you should be doing. Like, that's your gift. That's what God gave you to utilize to really share with the world. And people will pay for stuff that you're good at, right? So I don't know if you could cook. You called yourself a chef, like, chef. Before, yeah. But you know what I mean?
Chef Tone, Boyardee.
If you're going to start a YouTube channel, don't just, whatever it is that you do well, go for it.
We talked about writing. I think writing a book, right? A lot of people got a lot of things to say and a lot of experiences and they want to get it out. Write a book. I wrote my book, Waiting to Fail. Took me about 1.5 years to do, but this was, I was doing it part-time because I was working doing that. Man, if we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, couple months to just lock in, pen out, write a book. I tell you what I'm doing right now that just kind of hit me. And this is something that, you know, may be worthwhile. You know, in terms of writing a book, is journaling. And so this is a time we will probably never experience something like this again in our lifetime. We need to be documenting this. You know what I mean? Somebody is going to be interested in our experience during this time. And so this just hit me a few days ago and I'm like, dang, man, I should have been documenting this a couple weeks ago, but it's never too late to start, right? So I've recently just started documenting, and so you can either write it down, voice record it. I'm doing video vlogs because it's easier for me, but documenting every single day of what's going on in your world, and you can transcribe that, and that could be a book in itself. And I guarantee somebody gonna pay for somebody gonna want to know what you watching. Tiger King on Netflix during your pandemic.
Everybody else is doing the same thing. So like you could write, like I remember when I was watching Tiger King on day 16 or whatever, and whoever's reading is gonna know, like, man, I was watching it too. Or like me, I would be like, man, I watched it all in one day. But you know, when you stay up late, you can do that, man. Ain't nothing else to do. So
all right, give me one more, man. We're gonna get into a lot more of the stuff on the call. We'll have some more examples, but let's give one more business example for our folks out there.
Something in the cleaning industry.
Oh, cleaning is gonna be huge.
Right. Like a soap.
Cleaning is gonna be huge.
Some type of detergent, your own hand sanitizer. All right, just coming up with all types of stuff in the kitchen sink. You could do that for sure.
We definitely tapping in. I'm not gonna give my business. I'm locking it up in the cage. I'm not giving my business idea out just yet. But we're certainly gonna be tapping into that. And here's the thing: if you haven't paid attention to it, watch this. All businesses are going to be using this cleaning aspect as their differentiator. How, you know, restaurant, okay, when we get off of quarantine, which restaurant are we gonna go to? All right, it's a million restaurants. I'm gonna go to the cleanest restaurant. So these restaurants and other businesses, this is how they're going to get you in. They're gonna market. They're gonna say, hey, we cleaned our stuff 5 times a day. We use a special antimicrobial soap. Is that right?
Nope.
Whatever.
Nope.
Man, I'm telling you. I've seen it already on commercials. I was telling my wife the other day. I seen two commercials in a row. One was a car dealership or a car automotive place, and they were saying they come and service your car and they clean your car. They're gonna give you a deep clean. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go get my oil change. Oh, you gonna give me a deep clean in my car too? I'm going to you. Cleaning is, I'm telling you, cleaning. And I give you one more, man, just for kicks. Logistics. Logistics is still going. Amazon is still in motion, right? And all these companies that are delivering, because listen, we're not going backwards, man. This was already in place, and home delivery, delivering food, and I mean, we're getting everything delivered now. That's going to continue to take off. And so if you can find yourself into that logistics industry, you know, so again, those are just a few, man.
So we got 5 or so things that we gave to do while you quarantine. Yeah. All right, and then maybe some like 5 or 6 different business ideas. So how, like, if I want to start my own business, all right, like, what should I do? Like, how do I feel like I'm winning? You know what I mean? Like, if it's only it's 24 hours in a day, I get up, I'm trying to get in my routine, because some people are still working, right, from home, and they still got that piece. People are homeschooling. So you got the people that's homeschooling and working and trying to cook and clean and do all these different things. And how do I find time to fit that into my day? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to win my day, but what do I have to do?
So that's a good piece, man. And I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to pull this thing out of me, right? You're trying to pull it out of me, right? You're trying to get me out of my cage. Now we have we actually have a whole formula, man, and a whole setup that we use. And we kind of took this from the field, our play on the field, and now we've devoted this off the field, this mentality. At the end of the day, it's a mentality, and it's a win the day mentality. Okay. Like, yo, I have to win the day. I got to win the day. Mm-hmm. And it's no different from when I was, working 10, 12 hours a day and I got all these different things to do, boom. Mm-hmm. And now, man, I don't have anything to do. I still need to figure out a way, how can I win the day? Mm-hmm. And I understand it may be challenging. It's been challenging for me. I'm so busy on the go that now that I'm sit down a little bit, like, it's taken me a while to like restructure my thoughts, right? Because I'm like, man, I don't know how to function in this capacity, but we still have to win the day. So again, we're gonna get into it a lot on our live call on Thursday. Again, make sure you tap in, okay? But win the day. Have the mindset and mentality of, hey, I'll have to win the day. So it's really simple. You pick a couple things that you must do before you can win the day. You must figure out what you must do to win the day, right? So maybe it's just a couple tasks that you say, hey, in order for me to win the day, I got to do X, Y, and Z. I got to call somebody and tell them I forgive them. I got to write my grandmother a letter, and I got to, do 20 curls with my canned goods. And that's how I win the day. And it's that simple. Right. And every day you monitor and measure, did I win the day or did I lose the day?
There's no middle ground.
There's no middle ground. Either I won or I lost. Not a lot of gray area. Right. I either won or I didn't. But what you'll notice, and especially during a time like this, is if you can stack up little small wins, it'll allow you to go back and be like, man, I wasn't as unproductive as I thought I was. You know what I mean? Because this is a time where you could just sit around and eat, Doritos, sweet spicy chili, whatever. Sweet chili, spicy chili, whatever, you know what I mean? Eat Zaps. And you can feel really unproductive, but I can guarantee you, if you're intentional about winning the day, okay, and monitoring and measuring every single day, you'll find out that you're going to be a lot more productive.
So everything that you named wasn't about necessarily making money, right? So you can start a business. So you're talking about just in general. So when we talk about winning the day, again, these are the things that we can control. So you can either aspire to make a living, or you can aspire to make a difference, right? And so winning the day is always going to come down to making a difference. And so even if you start in a business, if you got people in mind, like, I really want to make a difference and make their life easier, you can do small things along the way. One of the things that I like to do before I go to sleep, and I'll encourage you all to do it as well, just ask yourself 3 questions before you go to sleep every single night. Number 1, did I love enough? Right? Did I love my family enough? Was I kind enough? What are you doing over there, man? This is a serious moment right now.
Go ahead, man. I know what you're doing.
Number 1, all right, did I love enough? What are you doing? What is those gloves, man? I'm not about to, okay, all right. You all right?
Social distance.
You sure?
Practicing.
Did I love enough? Number 2, did I serve enough? The people in your household, the people around, right? Did I make a difference? Did I leave my mark? And number 3, did I forgive? Right? Did I forgive? Like, whoever those people are, whoever that person is, those 3 questions. If you could answer yes to all those, then that's part of winning the day. All right, now tell me about these gloves before we get up out of here.
Hey, man, you know what? Can't never be too safe, man. Right. So, you know what I mean? I know we was about to dap up, so I just wanted to always be ready.
All right, always ready?
Always ready.
All right, there we go.
Easy.
It's weird, bro. It's weird.
Said I finally understand what it takes to be a man, cause I'm out here every day. Said I finally understand life was built on sinking sand, but you save me anyway. Said I finally understand what it takes to be a leader. When it comes to